She said her favorite color yellow. It looked good on her dress. Tryna be slim, thick, nothing less. But she's falling in and out of love. Her heart was broken. Wonder if your summertime crushes even notice it burns in July. And it felt like a dream, but a dream is the best kind of lie, yeah.
Hey honeys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be giving high schoolers advice. Yes, so if you're in high school, pay attention, open up your ears and listen. So today's video is all about career choices, and yeah, those of you who already know what's happening on this channel, I'll be counting down the points from least important to super important. So that means from point number 5 to point number 4. Let's go. Okay, so point number 5. Point number 5, you need to be realistic with your career choice. This is based on the fact that most people tend to choose their careers just based on what they are expecting financially, and then they don't consider their emotional aspect and the mental aspect. Like, is this something that you will be comfortable doing on a regular basis? Is this something that you'd be comfortable doing for like a very long period of time in your life? Regardless, okay, on the other hand, are you academically fit for this career? Because let's say, for instance, you want to be a pilot, right? And you're very bad at geography. How do you expect to achieve your pilot goals? These are things that you need to be very, very, very honest to yourself with. Because let's say, hypothetically speaking, you insist you want to be a pilot, you take your geography, long story short, you're ending high school and your results are way too bad for you to even get certificate level for a pilot. And then what? Okay, now let's go to point number 4. Point number 4, you need to have a plan after varsity or a plan after college. So in other words, you need to know, let's say you're like, I want to be a pilot. Let's go back to the pilot example. I want to be a pilot. So after studying in aviation school, like let's say I'm going to take a couple of hours, after completing those specific hours in aviation school, what will I do? You have to think that far. What will I do? Why? Because there are so many people that I know, in fact, on a personal basis, who have their degrees and qualifications that just sit at home. Like, literally, just spending all their money on a qualification just for it to just be like decor in your bedroom type of thing, and just say, yeah, I did it. I'm not using it though, but I did it. I achieved it. You don't want to be that person. So please, you need to think, what do you want to do after varsity? So in other words, when you're still now in high school, start interning, okay, and check different careers and see, like, okay, I'm interested in this, let me go intern there or job shadow so that I can get like a nice perspective of this thing, so I can know, is this something that I really want to do, or is this something that I just thought was nice, or something that I thought would be fun to do? And then eventually I realized that this is not for me. And you don't want to be a this is not for me person when you already have your degree. You want to be this is not for me before you even get into your studies, your tertiary education type of thing. Okay, point number 3. Point number 3, honey, you need to know your required subjects for this specific career. Now, let's say we're going back to the pilot. You want to be a pilot, but then all of a sudden you're choosing arts and culture, or you're choosing economics and business studies, and then you're like, yeah, this is me. I'm a pilot. That's what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden you're going to finish high school, you're doing your last class, you're applying at universities, and then you see like these people want a specific subject as a requirement, or some of them don't mention it. Let's say you're going to apply and there's like no specific requirement, but then as you're studying you realize that maybe your peers are like, oh my goodness, we learned this when we were in high school, like we did the longitude and latitude, we're able to tell the coordinates, like we can do this and that and tell where we're going to be landing or where we're taking off and stuff like that. And then you're there and you're like, okay, all I remember is north, east, west, and south. What are coordinates? Because I did not do geography in high school. You don't want to be that person. 2, you need to know the APS score that is required for your entry level. Now, if you do not know the definition of the APS score, is right here, honey. Cool, read it. Cool, so now when you know your APS score, you know what you're aiming for. You know what you're working for. You're not going to be that person who's just like, okay, I'm studying. All I know is that I need to get good marks because like good marks are the way to go. You will know that, okay, I'm striving for this specific mark. So in other words, my average in this subject should always be this, or should always be above this, never below this. This will give you a clear goal that will, and having clear goals is very, very, very essential because it helps you get a very big sense of self-determination that would just make you want to push yourself over and over and over again consistently, so without anybody being on your neck and being on some did you do this, did you do that, did you do this, did you do that. No, it's gonna be you, or you're just going to be like, you know what, I want to do this, so I'm going to push myself to do what I'm supposed to do. Point number 1, honey, you need to always keep point number 1 in mind because this one is extremely essential. So point number 1, God's plan will always prevail. Like no matter how many plans we make in life and how many, what can I say, steps we calculate and we're like, okay, I'm planning to become a pilot, and at the age of maybe 25 I'll be flying passengers in my helicopter, you know, just flying like a private pilot in a way type of thing. Long story short, you could go to aviation school and newsflash, you're scared of heights, and then that becomes the reason why you leave it, you know. All I can say is when you're walking down a path and then you start seeing lots of obstacles coming forth, right? These obstacles either trying to stop you from reaching where you're supposed to go, or these obstacles are trying to stop you from going the wrong way. Now, this is not a very easy thing to detect, but when you know, you will realize that, you know what, maybe this journey came to an end before it began because another journey was meant for me, you know. So don't be like, if like let's say you're like, my end goal was to study aviation, you know, like get my qualification, become a pilot. Now all of a sudden you have your qualification and, excuse me, you don't have a job, and then you're like, what's happening, you know, like what's good? Because I planned this, I planned that, but things are not going my way. At the end of the day, honey, remember, things are probably not going your way because maybe God feels like aviation is not the way for you. Okay, and remember, honey, God's plan is always the best plan because the Bible even tells us that God says He has plans of goodwill for our lives, plans of prosperity. These are not plans to hold you back, okay? These are plans to make you reach your full potential. Maybe aviation is something that you wanted to do, but then God said, no, my child, you are worth more than just a pilot. So remember, when a door closes in your face, this doesn't mean that this is the end. This means that it's the end of that direction, but a new door is open. So as soon as one door closes, another door opens, okay? Keep that in mind. And honey, I hope you all found this video useful, and I wish you all the best through your high school career. See you next week.